Alright everybody, today I'm going to show you guys how to make some catchy guitar beats all from scratch in FL Studio. It's going to be super simple and straight to the point, so let's not waste any more time. Let's just jump right in. Alright, so we're now here in FL Studio 21 as you guys can see. Now first things first, before we even go in with the guitar, we want to switch the BPM. Obviously standard is 140, but when you're making more catchy type of stuff, I usually like to lower it down to somewhere in between 120 to 110. In this case, let's just do something in between, like 115. You can even go faster if you want to, but we're just going to keep 115 in this case. And the next thing we're going to do is actually open up a guitar VST. Now, since I want to keep this tutorial super simple for you guys, I'm not going to overcomplicate it with the VSTs either. So what we're actually going to be doing is just opening up Analog Lab 5. And if you open up this, you can go to the sound banks. I'm going to go to my own Horizon multi-kit right here. Now there's this super clean guitar preset that's called Aura right here. This shit literally sounds crazy and it has crazy aura as well. So we're going to be using this one. From here, what we're going to do is just open up the piano roll as well, and then we need to pick a scale. Now in this case, I'm just going to go to view, then we're going to head over to scale highlighting, and also we're just going to start off with the C minor scale. We're obviously going to start off with putting down a C note right here. Now the first thing we want to do is just kind of lay down the pattern we want to go for. So what I mean by that is that we're just going to put down the root notes first. So what I like to do is just actually extend this note out all the way like this, so we have it covering 2 bars. Now I'm going to slice this up, so just go to the slice tool right here and slice it up in the middle, and you can slice it up one more time right here. So these are pretty much going to be the root notes, but we don't want them hitting all at the same note. So what we're actually going to be doing is just pitching this down by 2 semitones, and then this last one we're going to pitch down by another 2 right there. So now we kind of have this going for us. So now we obviously need to build a little bit off of this, right? That's going to be the next step. So to keep this as easy and bulletproof as possible, all we want to do is just literally copy these notes by hitting shift and just clicking on them. That's going to copy them. And then we're just going to pitch them up by 2 octaves. So it's going to be 1, 2 like that. Now you're going to see we have the same notes on top and same notes on the bottom. That's what we want to do, and then fill out the middle part right here in between. Now these shouldn't be hitting at the same time, so if you guys just scroll in a little bit and just move them slightly off grid, it's going to help it out with a little bit more of a realistic sound to the guitar. Alright, so I know it doesn't sound that catchy just yet, but this is really where everything kicks in the middle right here. So first thing we're going to do is, you know how people usually make like a normal triad? Like this. That's kind of what we're going to be doing, but instead of having this one right here, we're actually going to pitch it down by 1 semitone, so it's basically a half step, and then we just want to pitch it up by 1 octave as well. So move these 2 on the top a little bit to the right, something like this for the first part, and you can add some more filler notes on top if you really feel like it. Now we really want to build off of this as well, so kind of try to do the same thing right here. Again, we don't need the middle note, but we can keep this one. And the key to really keeping these melodies catchy is actually just using a lot of the same notes over and over again. So you can see we're using the G right here. We're going to use that later on in this part, in this section as well. So this is pretty much going to be our first part right here. And then we just need to fill out this last part, and it should be super nice. Okay, so this is going to be our first part right here. Sounds super smooth. Now for the next section, actually super easy. What you want to do is just copy it over like this, but what we actually want to do is we want to invert it, right? So you want to keep it going from G to A sharp to C. Instead of going downwards, we're going to go upwards on the second part. Now the easiest way to kind of just get that going is just by hitting Alt and Y on the second part, so it just flips everything. Now obviously, as you guys can see, it's not going to really flip it perfectly, so we need to make sure we adjust it in the same type of way. So as you guys can see, we keep 2 small parts right here, so that's the same thing we're going to do right here. 2 small parts, and then the last section is going to be long, right? So the C is going to be long in this case. Now obviously, when you're flipping it, as you guys can see, it's not really going to look the same, so you just want to do the same type of adjustments so it literally has the same exact pattern and everything is pretty much the same as the first section, just you want it to be going from the G and upwards, which basically just means that you want to move this a little bit out to the side. So once you flipped it back properly, you should have something like this. Now you can literally just copy this over for the second part and it should be perfect. Clean. So all we need to do now is just add some quick effects to the guitar as well, just so it sounds a little bit better. So for the effects, I just have some super clean ones like NS1, some EQ and delay. Really the sauce is just like the RC20 and a little bit of reverb. That's pretty much it. Okay, so as you guys can see, we're keeping things very simple. Effects are super simple. Pattern is super simple. It can't get any easier than this. You can literally just kind of recreate the similar type of pattern and you should have the same type of catchiness to it. As you guys can see, we're using a lot of the same notes, and that's really what gives it that groove and that repetitiveness, which ultimately makes it more catchy. So now that we have the main guitar pattern down, the next step we want to do is add some sort of catchy counter melody to this as well, because the guitar is pretty smooth and repetitive as it is. But what makes this super catchy and memorable is actually the counter melody you add in as well. Now I'm going to show you guys the cheat code to making catchy counter melodies, which I haven't really seen a lot of people teach you guys, so I might as well just break the sauce. And I think it's called something like call and response, but I'm going to show you guys how to practically just use it the right way so you guys actually understand why it works. So to make that catchy melody, obviously since we're using a guitar, I think we're just going to open up another instance of Analog Lab 5 and we're going to use a flute in this case. So just go over to the same bank, the Horizon Multikit. If you go over to the types section, you can just find the different winds. I love this flute right here. It sounds super cool. Now to show you guys what I mean by actually creating like a proper catchy counter melody, what you want to do is, if you think of this as like the 4-bar pattern that we have, what you want to do is you want to add some sort of counter melody in here, then you want to leave this empty right here just to kind of relieve it, and then on these 2 last bars you want to bring it back in. This is what's going to make it super catchy, because you have something playing in the start, it stops right here so people want to hear it back again, then you're going to bring back the same thing and finish off with a little bit of a cool pattern on the last section. I'm going to practically show you guys how to actually add this in. So there's a couple different ways you can do it. You can go over to this button and just write in your melody while you're listening. Something like that. Or you can just obviously manually type it in with your keyboard. I like doing a little bit of a mix of both, just like actually recording it in and then adjusting it how I feel like fits best. Once you kind of do your thing, you can adjust it a little bit to your liking with the keyboard, but this is kind of the gist of it right here. As you guys can see, we have something playing for the first section, we leave it pretty empty right here, we bring back literally the same exact pattern, and then we finish off with something cool at the end. Sounds so cool as a pattern. We just need to add a few effects to the flute. So for the effects in the flute, all I'm going to add is a sound shifter first of all to pitch it up by 1 octave. Then the second thing I'm going to add is just the RC20. I'm using this magnitude transition 1 preset, which is super key. And then you just want to cut out a lot of the high end since we're pitching it up. That's pretty much it right there. Now, honestly, guys, that's really all you really need to kind of create that catchiness to it. From here, you can obviously add a few layers here and there, but just to keep things very simple and friendly for all of you new guys out there, you don't really have to overcomplicate it more than this. So honestly, I think we might as well just actually start off with the drums already. Now, as for all the drum sounds I'm using, of course, they're coming from the Horizon Multikit. So if you guys like any of the drum sounds you hear in this video, you can obviously check out the kit. It is on my website, which is BBMarko.com, or you guys can just click the first link down below. It's literally not just a drum kit, but it also has the Analog Lab bank that we used to actually create this melody in the first place. It also has the drum kit we're about to be using right now, and in addition, it also has a MIDI kit, a portal bank, as well as a sample pack, all included in the same kit. So if you guys like it, make sure to go check it out. Now, with that being said, the first thing I'm going to add is obviously going to be an open hat. So let's just open up an open hat right here. We can use this one, just drag it in. Now for the open hat, it obviously just hits on the first hit right there, and then we go straight into the claps as well. Just to get the bounce going. Got the claps as well. Next thing is going to be hi-hats, and hi-hats are actually super simple because all I'm going to do is just drag in this one right here, and then instead of just making the whole pattern from scratch, you can literally just hit up the MIDI kit right here. It has 40 different hi-hat MIDIs, so you can pretty much just drag in whichever one, and 9 times out of 10 it just fits in perfectly with the rest of the beat. Kind of like this. Pretty smooth right there. It's not really harder than that, dude. Let's add some more bounce with a few rims. This is the first part right here. Just gonna layer. It's pretty cool. Let's go and add some kicks. Pretty punchy kicks right there. Yeah, that's clean. Just add some more perks and then wait to this and it should be banging. I want to see if we can just add a small little hi-hat. Maybe something like this. That's kind of cool, not gonna lie. Okay, so we had the 808 as well. Cool little drop. That's pretty clean. Sheesh. Okay, so as you guys can see, it's really that simple to make a catchy guitar beat.
Shut up, Marco.
Basic arrangement just to kind of showcase. We're keeping this super beginner friendly. And it's such a catchy vibe. Basic as well. Flute comes in right here. This makes it easy to rap over as well. That's pretty much it right there. Flute comes back in and we're good to go. It's such a vibe, bro. Super simple, super basic, but still such a vibe. And then it just loops back right here.
Shut up, Marco. Marco.